Right now, the backbone of America's economy, the middle class, is sending a warning. They're quietly spending less, and that could rattle everything. For decades, U.S. economic growth has leaned on consumer spending. More than 2/3 of the economy comes from people buying things, from groceries to home renovations to dining out. But something is shifting. Major retailers are raising red flags. Long-time assumptions about the strength and spending power of the middle class are being questioned. The fears that many dismissed as temporary might be deeper than we thought. At the same time, consumer mood is darkening. The University of Michigan's Consumer Sentiment Index recently plunged to 50.3, its lowest level since June 2022. So we're not just talking about tight wallets, we're talking about growing anxiety, uncertainty, and maybe a bigger structural shift. Here's what the data and real-world trends are telling us. They're happening, but Home Depot, a stalwart of the home improvement sector, reported U.S. same-store comparable sales rising only 0.1% in Q3, far weaker than expected. Their leadership pointed to consumer uncertainty and a sluggish housing market as key culprits. It's not just lower-income folks tightening their belts. According to Business Insider, even people who normally renovate or remodel are holding back. On the restaurant front, chains like McDonald's, Chipotle, and Cava are reportedly seeing trade-down behavior from customers. The Consumer Sentiment Index is not just low, it's broadly depressed across income groups. Inflation expectations are creeping up again. One recent survey pegged expected inflation at 4.7% for the year ahead. Despite all this, consumer spending did rise in November by 0.4%, according to the Bureau of Economic Analysis. But not all spending is equal. According to data from Circana, while retail revenue is up, unit demand for discretionary general merchandise is flat. And in October, building supply and home furnishing stores saw declines. What happens if this pullback from the middle class continues? The consequences stretch far beyond a few quiet shopping trips. The U.S. economy depends heavily on consumer spending. If a core part of that, the middle class, cuts back, GDP growth could slow. Retailers and businesses that rely on discretionary spending may suffer. Local contractors, home improvement services, boutique shops, they feel this shift directly. Less renovate now mindset means fewer big jobs. Margins tighten, cash flows dry up. Some small companies may not survive. If lower and middle income families pull back, but the wealthy keep spending, it exacerbates inequality. So, the top earners may continue to sustain the economy, but that's a fragile foundation. People become more risk averse. They delay big decisions like buying a house, renovating, or even starting a side project. That could suppress economic dynamism. Over time, this feeds a cycle of caution, where spending declines fuel more anxiety. Politicians and policymakers will notice. Middle-class pain could lead to calls for tax relief, affordable housing programs, or consumer protection. On the other hand, if consumer sentiment stays weak, it could make policy action more urgent. Retailers will have to adapt. Big companies may lean harder into discounts, value brands, or financing options. They may also rethink inventory, product mix, and where to place bets for growth value items, DIY smaller projects, etc. Let me bring this into real people you might know, or could be you or your neighbors. Take Maria and David, a married couple in suburban Virginia. They plan to tear out their kitchen cabinet, install quartz countertops, and build an island. But after looking at credit card balances, mortgage payments, and a potential interest rate hike, they decided to postpone. They admitted, "It hurts to pause after we saved for this, but losing our safety net, that's scarier." The local contractor feeling the chill, Lewis runs a small contracting business in Texas. He used to book 3 or 4 mid-sized jobs a month, bathroom remodels, deck building, energy efficiency upgrades, but recently leads have fallen. He says it's not just fewer calls, it's people asking for cheaper projects. He told me, I used to sell dreams. Now I'm selling necessity, not the same. Suburban teacher cutting back, Jessica, a school teacher in Michigan, has noticed something odd. She used to buy seasonal decor, help her kids pick out gifts, and splurge on little luxuries. This year, she's trimming. No new living room rug, fewer store-bought gifts, more hand-me-downs. She said, I don't feel stable. So why pretend like nothing's wrong? Are you or someone you know postponing big purchases or renovations? Have retailers in your area changed what they're selling? More discounts, fewer high-end items? And drop a comment below. I want to hear your story. Okay, so people are worried. But there are ways to adapt. Here's how Americans are responding and how they might survive or even thrive through this shift. Heinz building a mini project fund instead of waiting for a huge lump sum to remodel. Some families are saving a little bit every month into a separate account for upgrades or repairs. Refinancing debt. Those who have high interest credit cards or loans are consolidating debt or refinancing to lower their cost and free up cash. Prioritizing essentials, people are distinguishing between nice to have and must have, choosing to pay for maintenance rather than luxury. Rather than full kitchen gut jobs, homeowners are doing refacing, repainting, or smaller DIY upgrades. Contractors are offering modular or phased packages, small, affordable improvements first, rather than all at once. Financing options, more companies are offering payment plans or microloans to help people spread costs. Local programs. Some cities and nonprofits are starting to help lower and middle-income homeowners afford energy-efficient upgrades, insulation, solar panels. Advocacy, there's increasing pressure for stronger consumer protection, fair financing for home projects, or tax incentives for essential repairs. Public education, workshops, and local DIY groups are helping people learn to do some of the work themselves, reducing labor costs. Redefining value, rather than chasing the most expensive materials or finishes, many are prioritizing durability and long-term savings efficiency, lower maintenance, building self-reliance. More people are learning basic DIY, plumbing, carpentry skills. It's not just about cutting costs, it's about empowerment, psychological resilience, accepting that good enough is okay right now. Delaying, saving, doing less, it's not giving up, it's being prudent. Here's the big question. If middle-class America really starts to pull back permanently, what will that mean for our economy, our businesses, and our communities? And for you personally, how are you thinking about spending right now? Are you pushing forward with your plans or waiting for a safer moment? If you found this helpful, hit like, share it with someone who's navigating this moment too, and subscribe if you want more honest economic commentary from the ground up.